Welcome back to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least at this point in time. I am Caleb.
And I'm Christina.
And today is a very special episode. Christina, tell us why it's special.
Today is special because it marks the end of our first monthly challenge that we had the listeners choose. And it was to read the book. Are you shaking your head no?
No, you're good. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I'll mess this up. So the challenge was to read the book, The Count of Monte Cristo, in 1 month.
Yes.
So we took the month of January, read it, and we finished it.
Yeah.
It was over 1,200 pages.
Crazy.
We mainly listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the audiobook was nearly 50 hours.
Yeah.
So that was quite a lot of listening.
It's 2 days of your life.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
More than 2 days.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what the bulk of this podcast is going to be, is us talking about The Count of Monte Cristo, the book as a whole, and then our experience consuming such a long piece of literature in a relatively short period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very well put.
Thank you.
So this was recommended by a dear listener of ours, Libby Wasami. Am I saying that right?
Wasam. But wasami sounds better. It's like wasabi.
Wasabi.
Libby Wasami.
She's spicy.
Wasam.
She's spicy. Wasam. Thank you so much, Libby, for recommending this. It was a true pleasure to finally go through a book.
Yes.
Again, I had done previously, but just probably skimmed most of it now that I've completely read it again. But thank you, Libby. It was awesome.
Great suggestion.
Yes, great suggestion.
And Caleb, as Caleb mentioned, he had skimmed through, kind of read the book, a decade ago?
Oh, maybe longer, yeah.
And I had literally no grid for what the book was about at all. Never seen the movie, no idea about the story. So it truly was a new, fresh experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into what exactly the Count of Monte Cristo is. We'll give it a little historical overview, and then we'll get into our favorite, least favorite, and other stuff about the book.
Sounds good.
So what is the Count of Monte Cristo? So Count of Monte Cristo is a book that was written by Alexandre Dumas. Is it Alexandre? Or
I think it's Alexander.
Okay, Alexandre Dumas. One of the most popular writers in the 19th century of France. Born in France, sorry. Best known for adventurous novels like The Three Musketeers. He first published this book between 1844 and 1846 as a serialized story in a French newspaper.
Yeah, so this was wild to me. It made sense once I was like halfway through the book. I'm like, what is happening? Like, just some chapters or sections were like seemingly unneededly long.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and the book was published over a period of 18 months in newspapers, like a chapter or two at a time. And you used to get paid by the word. And so I think that he kind of just beefed up some sections, which is probably my main complaint to the book. We'll get into later, is that like an excellent book, but it could have been done in, I don't know, 600 pages or 800 instead of 1,200.
And we had a chance to talk with Libby, or you did, and she recommended the abridged version of Count of Monte Cristo.
She's like, I don't recommend abridged versions for books, but if I ever were to, I think an abridged version of this book would be, you totally get everything you needed out of it.
Yeah. So it was written for a French newspaper, which explains its length and constant cliffhangers. It really is kind of like he leaves you hanging a lot at the end of a chapter, which is fun. Yeah. I did enjoy that.
Yeah. And it was written in 18 something?
1844.
Okay.
So between 1844 and 1846.
Crazy. So it's coming up on being like almost 200 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Super wild.
Yeah.
The novel is set in France and Italy, beginning in 1815, right after the fall of Napoleon, during a time of political instability, corruption, and shifting power. That chaos is essential to the story because it fuels the betrayal and injustice that sets everything in motion. So Dumas based the book on a real historical case of a man who was wrongfully imprisoned and later sought revenge.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Very cool.
But the Count of Monte Cristo goes far beyond revenge, wrestling with justice versus vengeance, suffering and transformation, and whether anyone has the right to play God. So nearly 180 years ago, like you just said, the book still resonates because these questions and themes are pretty timeless.
Yeah. What does justice mean? What's true? Righteous justice versus vengeance. Can we, play the part of God?
Yeah.
Yeah. And God is brought up a couple times in the book. It's kind of interesting of people being like, I didn't even pray to God for 10 years and then came to my wit's end and then they did, or kind of things like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Which is really interesting because we read a little bit about Alexandre Dumas and his life.
Yeah.
He was kind of a salacious fellow when it came to the ladies and the lifestyle he lived. And so to have so much like God in the book and actually positive things to say about God was fascinating to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting. I'd looked just a little bit into who Alexander was as a person, and he was actually born a slave in the Caribbean. I don't remember which island, Caribbean islands. And then I believe him and his father immigrated to France when he was young, and then he was a free man or free youth. But very interesting because he faced all the challenges of being Black in a very white culture, but being a prolific writer, being he was quite popular right away, unlike many artists or the starving artist and their works become popular later. Like he was well off, right away. And people really loved The Three Musketeers, Count of Monte Cristo, different things he wrote. But yeah, he was a very salacious person, had affairs with many women, married women, had some children with them, I believe. He
had fortunes, lost fortunes, had mansions, lost mansions.
Yeah. He loved, there was a couple of people, Victor Hugo and him would smoke weed together and discuss politics, some very countercultural things while being, just with being half Black, half white as well. And just very interesting, which when I found out that was a slave, I was very interested at how he described slaves in his book, The Count of Monte Cristo. Which we'll get into later. But
it'll be interesting to get into that. So that's a little bit about Alexander and the history of the Count of Monte Cristo. Let's get into our thoughts around the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes.
I think let's start with the negative.
Okay.
Get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about the things we really liked about the book to end with.
Yeah. Do you want to give like a 60-second synopsis of what like the plot is?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a man named Edmond Dantes, and he is wrongfully imprisoned by a plot. There's three different people that are jealous of his life because he's an up-and-coming captain, and he's fallen in love with a beautiful woman who also has somebody else in love with her, which is one of the persons who's conspiring against him. So they conspire to put him in prison. He gets put in prison for 14 years. Love of his life marries his mortal enemy. The guy who he was going to become a captain of ship, the other guy becomes the captain. Like everybody gets everything he should have had. So he escapes from prison.
After 14 years.
After 14 years.
I was so upset when I found out it was 14 years.
Right.
Because they give you no grid in those like the first 10 chapters for how long he's in prison.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yes, and it had been 14 years. I literally went, what? So upsetting. He went into prison when he was 19 and came out at 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, escaped.
Gets out of prison and seeks revenge on the people that ruined his life, stole his girl, stole his job, and does it very successfully. But it takes a long time to get there. Years and years and years of planning, as well as executing those plans. And so in the end, I don't know. If you don't want to read the book, then you just skip past the next 30 seconds of this podcast. But in the end, he gets revenge on everybody and then repents for thinking himself to be the hand of God and rides off into the sunset with a different girl, basically.
Yep. And all that kind of happens in like the last chapter.
Yeah, literally the last
There's
chapter.
117 chapters and like the whole like, I guess that maybe I didn't quite do that right happens in the last like chapter.
He's like, bummer.
Or two.
Lots of people died and killed themselves and because of me, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. Onward.
Great ending, though. I really did like the ending.
It was a good ending. I wish there had been more to the ending.
Yes.
Yeah. After we've read 1,200 pages. that there was more than just the last little sum up. But
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much it's a revenge story. Lost love and then realizing maybe I'm not the one who should be seeking revenge.
It was refreshing to see that the protagonist of this story was repentant of his revenge in the end of the story. There's a lot of movies now where revenge is the main thing, and then they get revenge. It's like, hell yeah. And they walk off and they're still angry at the world, but they got revenge, and that's the end of the movie. I think this brings it back to the beginning where he was almost like a good man again.
Yeah.
And you don't see that these days. So I think it was masterfully summed up.
It's good.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Compared to the things we see today. Okay, so what are some characters, themes, things that you didn't so much love about the Count of Monte Cristo?
So I just was confused a good chunk of the time. And part of that is, so Edmond Dante, he's the main character, the protagonist. He went by, let me think, 6 or 7 different aliases or names throughout the book. And you weren't really told, like, it wasn't clear that, oh, this is Edmund until maybe a couple chapters into this new person. So he went by Edmond Dante, which was who he was, the young sailor. Then he went by the Count of Monte Cristo, which is who he was when he escaped from prison. And he also came into a lot of wealth. So that's how he was able, with all of his riches, to plot his revenge. Then he was the Abbé Busoni, which was a priest. And then he was Lord Wilmore, which was like this English philanthropist, which I did not catch that was actually Edmond Dante.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
While he was a part of the story. Then there was Sinbad the Sailor, like this kind of pirate type person. And then also the Maltese and M. Zacconi, which are just other characters. And they were all the same person.
Yes.
But it just was not super clear to me when that new person was introduced that's, oh, this is the main character.
Yes, I found that to be a little misleading sometimes. Yeah. And also, there's several characters in the book besides Edmund that change names.
Yes.
They don't want to be remembered by society as who they used to be when they're younger. And so they change their last name or their first name for some of them. And so you're just like, who is this absolutely new character out of the blue that feels like we should know him? And then they would say they're this new name over and over and over. And then like at the end of the book, it's revealed this was Fernand. And it's like, oh my, okay, well.
That would have been a lot more context would have been helpful.
Yes, because you're not as invested in the story of this new guy.
No.
But you're invested in Fernand from forever ago. And so by the time you get to the reveal, I don't feel like the payoff was totally worth it there.
Yeah.
Again, these are small gripes.
No, I don't even know if they're that small.
Yeah.
Just because, so he, the Count of Monte Cristo, Dante, was in love with Mercedes. And Mercedes' cousin was in love with her. And his name was Fernand.
Yeah.
So after Fernand gets the Count thrown in prison, him and Mercedes go off and get married. But we meet these people for a good 30 chapters of the story, and their name is the Countess and the Count of Morcerf.
Yeah.
And those are Mercedes and Fernand, but you don't realize that until more than halfway through the book.
Yeah.
Therefore, the Count's connection to them, I was like, who are these random people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened with these 3 people that betrayed Edmund. They all went by different names, and I did not connect the dots until way too far into
totally
the reading of it.
So that was tough.
Yeah.
That was very tough to get through. I think if we're talking about Fernand Mondego, who renamed himself, who we just mentioned, who married Mercedes, my least favorite character out of the whole book was Albert, his son. Just kind of a reckless, rich youth.
Yeah.
That we're introduced to, like maybe towards like the middle-ish.
It wasn't that far into.
Like middle beginning-ish. And then you literally read about this kid in Count of Monte Cristo doing things for like 30 chapters, maybe. and then it's finally revealed that he's the son of Fernand.
Yeah,
and
of his old girlfriend.
Of his old girlfriend, and you're like, oh, I would have been a lot more invested in this in his story,
kid, yeah.
than if we didn't have to wait 30 chapters, literally like 12 hours probably of listening to this book in order to get to, oh, that's this guy's son.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, and also I think just the character of Albert was just not pleasing to me. Just a really rich, entitled youth, it seemed.
Yeah, he ended up having like a pretty good kind of ending.
Yes.
He gets humbled and is like, I'm going to go make my own in life instead of be rich. But yeah, so that was kind of a little, just the confusion of like who these people are.
Yeah.
And like everybody, literally almost everybody had a double name or went by their last name, and you didn't realize that that was their last name, kind of a thing. My only other like so there was a chapter called The Roman Bandits. Yeah. And I think it was chapter 30 something. Yeah, 33. And it was over an hour long, so that must have been probably 80 pages. And it had maybe a paragraph that had to do with the larger story. It just was like, see, two random people, and then this guy's girlfriend gets kidnapped by bandits, so he kills his girlfriend so that she's not carried away by the bandits. Yeah. And then you're not even sure if that's a real story or if it's an allegory. And so I just like, that was the point where I'm like, I'm going to give up on this book. It was like an hour of like, and I literally, so the only time I like Googled what is happening.
Yes.
They're like, totally. Yeah, it literally doesn't connect other than like a paragraph or two. So that's when I talked about like, he was getting paid by the word. He's like, I'm just going to write this bunch of stuff. Sure.
And also it seems like something that would be published. That whole chapter would probably be published in a newspaper. It's interesting to read alone.
Yeah, it was like a great standalone story.
A standalone story. Absolutely. I would read that in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And this book, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was very tough and unpleasant to read at some parts. It was really, the whole girlfriend and the bandits part was just not pleasant to read.
Yeah. And within that story, there was another story telling like of like a fairy tale allegory. Yeah. And at points I'm like, is this real life?
It was like the first case of Inception.
Yes.
In literal literary history.
You're like 2-3 levels deep. I was like, who are these people? Did I miss something? Yeah.
That was definitely tough. But I just felt overall the middle just dragged. You know, like literally the entire middle of the book could have been halved.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the book would be fine. And I would be super happy with it. So that's probably my biggest two gripes is Albert, and then just the length of the middle of the book. It just dragged.
Yeah. And then the Count, he has two slaves, which he treats his slaves very well. Like they pretty much, like once they move to Italy, slavery, I guess, is outlawed in Italy. So he tells his two slaves, like, you don't have to stay with me anymore. You're free. And they're both like, you're so wonderful and we're kind of rich, so I'll just stay working for you. So one of the slaves, her name is Haiti, which she was super cool. She was like this young Greek girl who the Count rescued like from slavery, from these horrible people. But the part that made me mad was his other slave's name is Ali, and he was from Sudan. And the Count tells the story of how he was in this market in Egypt, and that this man who was a slave, I think he had stolen something, and his punishment was that on the first day, his tongue would be cut out. The second day, his hand would be cut off. And the third day, his head would be cut off. And the Count is telling Al, I always thought it'd be cool to have a mute slave, somebody who couldn't talk. So he waited the first day till his tongue was cut out, and then he purchased him to save him from death.
Yeah.
So he has this very loyal slave who's mute because he allowed his tongue to be cut out.
Yeah.
So then when I found out that the author, Alexander, was a slave, I'm like, I don't know if he was...
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Maybe he's just trying to show the brutality of slavery, but it doesn't make you... I just didn't like the Count then for the rest of the book.
Well, it doesn't go with the Count's character.
No, he's very much so... People.
Yeah, and he's very much so acting as the hand of God. It's not necessarily... He doesn't see himself as getting his own personal revenge. He sees himself as an instrument of God for most of it. That just happens to be putting plans into action to get his own revenge.
Yes.
But doing justice for God in the midst of it. And so I felt it was a really out of character move for that to happen. Like he waited because he thought it was cool to have a slave with no tongue.
Yeah.
I think they kind of lost me a little bit in investing, investing myself into the character of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, because if you're supposed to be somebody who's like a righteous judge, who's like doing righteous vengeance, on God's behalf, then you don't let a guy get his tongue cut out and then purchase him as your slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he could have said, I showed up the day after.
Yes.
And before they cut off his hand, and that would have been way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that because I'm all like.
You're all very justice oriented.
I'm going to throw everything out with the bathwater, the baby and all, just throwing the bathtub out, or, burning the house down
or moving.
Yes.
We're
raising the city.
Yeah. Yes. That's who you are for sure.
So those are kind of just the negatives, but yeah.
But take heart, Libby, if you're listening to this. We liked a lot of stuff about this.
Yes.
So if you got through that gripe about it, just take heart that this part's gonna be good. So what did you love about this book?
I liked how much it felt like historical fiction, which is what it was, about how the wealthy and the poor lived in this point of history. Because the time he's writing it in the 80s or 50s, sometime 1840s, he was writing it as if they're in that time period or around, within a couple decades. So, it was just kind of interesting to hear about how wealthy people lived, and they literally hired people to help them change their clothes and be at their beck and call, that if they wanted tea, it was brought immediately to them. A lot about banking as well, which is kind of interesting. That's how the Count kind of exacts his revenge, as he gets different people to loan him money, or he loans them money and then demands it back, and how he would short the stock market, which they had some sort of stock market in the 1840s. So I really enjoyed that. There was a lot of unique language as well. They would say, "Hark." Somebody's coming, hark. And they would press hands instead of shake hands.
Yeah.
And instead of a hug, they pressed themselves together. Instead of a kiss, they pressed lips. It was just, I don't know, just kind of some fun, unique language there.
They would raise their hands to the heavens and look up if they were distraught.
Yeah.
Women would faint.
Women fainted all the time.
All the time.
They would prepare to faint.
Yeah, they prepared to faint.
I loved that. They'd prepare to faint if something was shocking. Oh man, I lost it. There was another funny part.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's gone.
Okay. Well, that's a great part. Yeah, I love the historical accurateness and even to the literary terms he used. Very historically accurate. I love the end of the book. I know you didn't enjoy the last, how short it was.
Right.
At the very end.
Ending. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know it was long in the middle, but it paid off enough for me at the end to be very satisfied, because sometimes there's so many characters you forget which ones he hasn't taken revenge on yet. Mm-hmm. And he towards the end, he takes revenge just so quickly. Mm-hmm. And then you'll forget about this one guy. But he goes, Dumas goes and sums it up. Yep. And he sums it up very well. It's not rushed. It doesn't feel super rushed when the conversations happened or the revenge happens. And at the very end, I thought that the mislead that Maximilian was going to die, I thought that was really, really well done. Because I was like, oh my God, he's going to let this man die.
The only good person.
The only good person in this story. He's going to let him die. And not only that, Maximilian's love, who the Count promised wasn't going to die, died way earlier in the book. And he broke his promise, So he sold me. I think Alexander did a great job of selling you that the Count was about to let this murder or this suicide happen. And then at the end, the reunification between Maximilian and what was her name? Valentine was beautiful and very tastefully done. Mm-hmm. And then the Count's last words in the letter he left to Maximilian, who's arguably my favorite character and the
I would
most
agree.
honorable
Yeah.
person in the entire book. The last words he left 2 minutes later were just the chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I remembered what I was going to say. Like, so along with like women would just faint all the time. If you were distraught, you'd raise your hands to the heavens
Yeah.
and cry out. People like shrieked and yelled all the time. Oh, you know. But if you had people threatened to end their lives
So often.
all the time,
Yeah.
they're like, if you don't marry me, I'm going to end myself.
Yeah.
And if he marries you, I'm going to end myself. And there was this Maximilian's father who was
He was the ship owner.
ship owner that Dante, the Count, had used to work for. The Count of Monte Cristo found out that he was in great debt and was going to lose, his boat company. I don't know how you call that, but more so that he was, for the sake of the honor of his family, going to kill himself.
Yeah.
Because it is better to kill yourself, and then that would remove the shame from your family.
Yes.
So your family line wouldn't be shamed if you killed yourself. And so the Count steps in and provides money secretly to pay off all of his debts. But people tried to duel each other all the time. If they were offended, they're like, I throw my glove in your face and we will duel tomorrow to the death.
Yeah.
And Maximilian, as you mentioned, a wonderful character, and he's in love with Valentine. And Valentine's mom is trying to poison her so she can get her inheritance. And she's trying to poison her because the Count of Monte Cristo taught her how to poison people.
Yeah.
As revenge on her whole family. So she's killing off grandma, grandpa, her son, the butler.
Yeah.
So the Count then secretly comes in to rescue Valentine. And he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you this other drug that's going to make it look like you're dead.
Yeah.
And we'll kill you. But not really. Yeah. They have a funeral and buried her. So I'm guessing that he dug her up. But Maximilian's in love with Valentine. And so he tells the Count, well, she's dead. Now I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. But also, when Valentine wasn't going to marry Maximilian because her father didn't want her to, Maximilian was going to kill himself.
Yes. And so that was part of why Valentine's like, I will undergo the shame of breaking my engagement to this other man so you don't kill yourself.
Don't kill yourself, please.
Yeah. So then the whole thing is Valentine's supposedly dead. And the Count's like, will you give me 30 days before you kill yourself?
Yeah.
We'll wait until that's the last chapter title. The 5th of October. Will you wait till the 5th of October to kill yourself? He's like, okay. So he goes and they're hanging out on the 5th of October. And the Count's like, all right, I'm going to kill myself too.
Yeah, he's like, well, one of the cool things he said, he was just like, I wanted you to be able to kill yourself in a really comfortable environment.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what Maximilian said. He's like, is that why you wanted me to wait? Is just to be here and be comfortable? And Count's like, yeah.
Yeah, so they eat a bunch of good food and then they take some sort of like drug or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's not a drug that's going to kill him. And then his long lost love, who was buried, I guess the Count went and dug her up. And she's like, hello. And
it's me.
Yeah. And so the Count's all happy because he's like, okay, Valentine and Maximilian get to be happy. I didn't find love. So I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
So then his slave girl, Haiti, shows up, who's not a slave anymore, but was slave. And she's like, well, if you kill yourself, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I guess I won't kill myself.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm in love with you. He's like, I think I could do that. So I guess then they go off and get married.
Yeah. They ride into the sunset.
Yeah. But the amount of talk of duels and suicide and fainting was just remarkable.
It was remarkable, but also harkens to something that I think has been lost in society. And this is what we talked about with a little bit of what we talked about with Carson and Nate a few months back now, maybe, or a month ago. But it's like men have kind of lost their place in society. Like we don't really know where we stand. And back then I feel like they had a real grip on like honor and reputation. And, if you were bankrupt, you killed yourself because who you were as a man mattered.
And then it like saved your family from shame.
Yes. And I kind of to a point miss that, I don't think I would ever go and duel somebody to the death over anything.
Right.
Unless they hurt you in any way.
Yeah. But even then, you wouldn't be like, on next Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Well, it depends.
We will
Did they
duel.
kill you? And I would
Yes.
definitely kill them.
Yeah, but you'd probably like attack him in a rage, not set a date.
I would set a date.
Okay.
For sure. I'd be like, well, I wouldn't tell him. I'd be like, that's the day I'm going to kill that guy, though.
Okay.
Or girl.
Could
not
happen.
being sexist. So, anyways, I kind of really like that. Like they're honorable to a fault, which is too much.
Yeah.
But we need some of that these days.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like the duels.
You like the duels. That's
saying.
Nice. Yeah, and I really liked how it ended, although the ending was short. Like Maximilian and Valentine, the Count leaves them with enough money that they can have a simple life.
Yeah.
And they end up together. Neither of them died. And then he ends up with Haiti, who was his ex-slave, who he was like, you're free and I saved you from slavery. And it was funny though, because she's like, I love you like a brother, like a father, like a husband. I'm like,
she's like going up steps.
Yes.
like
I'm
a
like,
father,
okay. I'm like, at
a
least we got
husband.
to the husband part. But I thought it was beautiful that like, I originally thought, well, he's going to end up with Mercedes, his love from chapter 2, who's the whole reason this whole story started. But I kind of liked that he realized, like, you can't get revenge and make things as they were.
Yeah.
And you can't make people love you, and you can't go back in time. And so the last line of the book is to wait and to hope.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole story, that he ended up finding love and finding peace. And it was 20 years after the book started. So he's 39 now, went into prison when he was 19. He's been a free man for 6 years. And so that's what the message he left with Maximilian and Valentine was, to wait and to hope, which is what Maximilian did. He waited and hoped that Valentine would choose him and not be dead. And even though the Count didn't know he was waiting and hoping, for love, it came in a different way. So yeah. And I was honestly quite surprised for the lack of romance, other than Maximilian Valentine, like, I love you a little bit, for the author of the book, Alexander, being such like a womanizer and into all that stuff. I was really surprised at the lack of romance or relationships.
I mean, maybe he does it in different books, but he definitely didn't do it very much in this book. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Me too.
I like it. He's more of I feel like he was more technical in his writing.
I just thought it was going to be a love story. Yeah. Because of how it starts. Mm-hmm. And it pretty much was like a revenge book.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so aimed towards male readers, I think.
Probably.
I liked how the Count was able to help Maximilian and Valentine so much, because I think that's what we're all trying to do in life, is we see people who are younger than us who are struggling with the same things, and we're able to save them from what we went through. Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, the Count may have found his own importance in the world or place in the world by helping Maximilian and Valentine. Yeah. I don't think he wouldn't have, if it wasn't for Maximilian and Valentine, and if this was real, I think the Count would have killed himself. But the fact that he was able to manipulate circumstances in order to help these people that were like him, like Maximilian was about to lose the love of his life forever. And he lost the love of his life forever. The fact that he was able to do some good, I think, led to him not wanting to kill himself, and also opened himself up to the possibility of waiting and hoping. Yeah. Which paid off because he had a wife at the end. Yeah. So I think it's a really beautiful story of just being human and all the baggage you carry and the things you work through, and being able to look at the next generation and say, let me help you with that. So that's what I got from it.
I love it. Yeah. It was quite interesting. Like, almost everybody's marriages broke apart. It showed how many people didn't actually care about the person they were married to. They were just married because that's who they were supposed to marry. Yeah. And all the children of the 3 men who betrayed Edmund, they all were betrothed to be married to different people that they didn't want to marry. And so one, ran off and did her own life. Other people married the person they really wanted to. So I think that probably Alexander, the author, was pointing at like, you should marry for love or not marry at all, rather than marry because you're supposed to, because your parents want to form a loyalty with another family. So I thought that was kind of wild at the amount of people that, I mean, all the relationships fell apart.
It could be another jab at reputation. You know, like everybody's too honorable, like we were talking about.
And the author obviously didn't care about his reputation, because he's like, I'm having affairs with everybody's wife.
Exactly. Yeah. Hold up your wives out there, because Alexander's out on the prowl. He's on the loose. Yeah, but I think that is another. He probably, the whole book is a kind of a slight at the high class.
Yes.
Because of the way he saw them when he was growing up.
Yeah. And the servants and the slaves and the butlers and the maids were all
almost innocent bystanders or good people.
Good, helpful.
Yeah. Except for Ali, that poor dude. He was really helpful and great and super strong, but
he couldn't talk. No, I was like, that was the only loose end at the end, because you didn't hear about what happened to him. I'm hoping he went off with the Count in Haiti. Yeah. You know, as they got married.
You could argue that the Count was still acting as like God's arm of justice and allowing Ali to get his tongue cut out, because Ali's, what was it? He stole something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could still be argued
and his
that the
twisted
Count,
justice.
Yes, exactly. Could be.
I don't know.
I know.
Maybe not like him.
That's all
I'm saying.
That whole bathtub's being pushed out a window with that baby in it right now.
And also, interestingly, the best person was the priest who was in prison with the Count. So for the author, Alexander, not being a religious person, he made the people who were religious or priests very good, honorable people who did the right thing.
I wonder why. I wonder if his parents were religious.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like in that day and age, everybody was a little bit religious.
Yeah.
You know, in, Western culture. But, yeah.
Could be. Well, hey, Libby, great suggestion.
Yes, thank you.
Love the book.
I'm excited to watch the movie just to see how it's different and
so different.
How they sum up 50 hours into 2. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. It's just fun all around.
Cool.
Well, we hope you guys like that.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to our synopsis on the Count of Monte Cristo.
And if you have no context to the story, this is probably pretty confusing, but thanks for listening.
Go read an abridged version.
Yes.
That's
I would recommend that. We're going to finish up this podcast by throwing out some recommends to you, our listeners, something we would recommend. And my recommend for this week is that when it's really cold outside, as it has been here in Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 4 degrees this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Snow on the ground for a week. When I have to leave for work or go somewhere, I almost dread it, because I'm like, I'm going to be hopping into a cold car. Well, if you make yourself go outside 10 minutes early and start the car, let it heat up, it just kind of takes away all that dread.
Yes.
Even though you're having to go outside twice, getting into a pre-warmed car, even if it's just for 10 minutes, it's kind of maybe lukewarm at that point. It just makes leaving and going somewhere a lot more tolerable and less dread.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Great recommend.
Nice.
My recommend is to get up at the same time every day and go to bed at the same time every day.
It's good.
It's tough to do, and I've been trying to do it the last 30 days. But it has been huge to not go to bed at a different time on the weekends or wake up at a different time. Like, it has made a giant difference in my happiness levels, I feel like, and my ability to like withstand Mondays.
It's good because you're not, tired from the weekend. You didn't throw your sleep schedule off. You're
totally.
Like, all right, I'm ready to wake up at 4:30.
Yeah, good to go.
I did on Saturday and Sunday.
Good to go.
It's
so
good.
Just keep it steady, people.
Yeah. Within a half hour, I think is a good time period to wake up in the same half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And something else I've talked to you about is this: if you're going to bed and you're not falling asleep right away, just breathe deep and let your body relax. You know, your mind may not be asleep, but that doesn't mean that your body isn't getting energy from just laying there and resting. So just breathe deep and know that you're doing some good, even if you're not being totally in REM. Yeah.
And you don't have to wait until you're exhausted, falling asleep to go to bed. I think that can happen where it's like you're sitting on the couch watching TV and you're like, oh my gosh, my eyes are barely open. And then you get up, you brush your teeth, you get ready for bed,
Wash
you
your
kind
face.
of wake up again.
Yeah.
And so like you can get into bed before you're like dead tired, and you still will probably fall asleep pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do that.
Yeah, good recommend.
Thank you. Well, lastly, we're going to announce some really cool challenges we're about to take on these next 30 days.
Yes. So this is our 28 days. We'll do it for the month of
28 days.
February.
Yes.
Yes. Which is great.
That's
It's a
crazy.
little
I
shorter.
didn't put that together. Yeah.
So our first challenge is recommended by Caleb's mom, and that is to be vegan for a month.
Thank you, Bobby.
So we are going to be vegan for a month and notice if we feel any better, if there's any health differences, just notice any differences at all.
Yeah.
I was vegan for almost a year, a couple years ago, like strictly vegan for my health. And it definitely helped my body recover.
Definitely.
I eat meat a couple times a week now.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be cool just to do full 28 days other than my birthday, because I would have a restaurant I want to go to for my birthday.
Yes.
And I'm not going to just eat cauliflower soup when I'm there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So except for that one thing.
Yeah. So join us in being vegan.
Yeah.
For a month or for a week or once a week, something.
Anything.
I know that's a lot for some people to think about.
It is, but it's a challenge, you know?
Yep.
And so it makes you feel a lot better. We've done it before, but we're excited to do it again and take on this challenge. So thank you, Mom,
Yes.
for recommending this. We love you. And the other challenge we're going to do is we're going to do a no buy February.
Mhm.
So that has nothing to do with bisexual stuff. Now that I say it out loud, no buy.
Well, we wouldn't be participating in it anyways.
Yeah,
so we weren't
actually
before.
on a permanent hiatus from no buy February
Or any other month
or
of the
any
year.
other. Yeah, but we're doing no buying things that we don't need, like no buying things outside of the necessities.
Yeah.
So we're doing that for all of February too. Cool little challenge Christina came up with.
Yeah. So pretty much just buying the bare minimum. I mean, not the bare minimum. You can eat groceries as normal. It doesn't mean you have to live on ramen for a month. But yeah, just like not buying anything extra beyond, gas, groceries, toilet paper. Yeah. And just notice how many times you're tempted to spend money on something that you don't really need.
Yeah.
So we're going to try that. So that's challenge number 2.
And we're going to come back after the month of February and we're going to let you guys know how it went.
And be $82 richer.
That's right. $82.
We already don't spend much on stuff, but there we go.
Lastly, and I forgot to tell you this,
okay.
Christina, we had a question from a listener.
Oh, fun.
They want to know for our weekly podcast, what goes into it as far as research, prep, and editing. So how much time and what does that look like?
Well, I think it depends so prep depends on the topic. Like for this episode, I didn't really prep anything, but I did listen to 50 hours of a book.
Yes.
So some topics like the Loch Ness Monster, there's not much to it beyond that. So that only maybe took half an hour to write. But other topics like microplastics or more in-depth topics, definitely it can take a couple hours sometimes. So to write up the script. And then for filming the podcast, we've got our lights and camera pretty set up. So I feel like that doesn't take you a ton of time.
No.
We do a sound check, make sure everything's rolling.
We've done that before where we didn't record
didn't
anything.
record. Yes, once or twice. That was a bummer. One time we made it through an entire episode.
And didn't record it. So we had to re-record it that same day. Yeah, but it takes about 10 minutes to set everything up, lights and video and audio wise, which it used to take
longer.
30 minutes, 45 minutes for me to get everything. And then editing used to take, so long. Like I wanted it to be perfect. So like 2 to 2.5 hours a week was just spent editing the podcast. But as far as research and prep, I totally agree. It just depends. Sometimes you do a lot, sometimes you don't. I'd say, what did you say on average? What do you think? 45 minutes to an hour?
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably depends.
Yeah.
Some topics super easy, others, a couple hours.
Yes. Especially it depends on how invested you are in the topic, because you love researching in general, but when you get you on something that's you love it, you'll probably come into the podcast with 10, 11 hours under your belt.
Right. Yeah. And I've had to kind of pull back on that because I've spent so much time oh my gosh, in this aspect and this, and writing these wonderful scripts or taking notes. And I'm like, we're not doing a 2-hour podcast. I mean, just talking about this. So I've tried to kind of dial back on the depth or the kind of the rabbit trails of topics to just kind of, this is the main thing, or else it'd be really long episodes.
Which there's definitely room for that sometimes. I mean, people let us know if you want to hear really long episodes.
I don't know if you want to be a part of it.
I mean, I would, if we were like actually doing in-depth episodes, we'd do one a month and we'd make it 3 hours long, But doing 2 hours every week is tough to just to research.
The time to have the research and to even record it. Yeah.
So, I love that you do that though. Yeah. You do a lot of research. You do a lot of work. Yeah. Probably a lot more than me.
Yeah. How much editing how long does editing take now?
It probably takes about an hour, 15 minutes to edit the podcast and upload it to everything.
Yeah.
And then how long does it take to make the make the Instagram
posts? I mean,
Facebook.
for each season, like coming up with a new kind of template takes a little bit of time, but once I've got one, it's probably only like 15 minutes. And then I'll edit on Descript the shorts, which those, I probably put in maybe an hour, and then you do hour-ish. So altogether,
combined, it's probably like 6 hours.
Yeah.
A
combined,
week.
Yeah. Probably around there.
Man, we love you guys because that's crazy.
But then it's 3 hours a person. That's not too bad.
And also, anybody listening to this, if you have the opportunity to start a podcast with somebody you love, just do it.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't do this if it wasn't more beneficial for our relationship than it was for people listening.
Yeah.
Like, it really is just about the connection we have here talking for an hour every week.
Time once a week. Yeah.
It's like the best coffee date ever.
Yeah.
And so we do it because of that, but we also do it because we love these people.
Yeah.
So don't think that we're just throwing 6 hours away. I know I made it sound a minute ago. I was like, no, you guys better appreciate it. No,
you better like this episode and share it. People are going to be like, I've never read this book. Well, you better share it. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Wow. Amazing book, probably.
Yes. But that's what goes into doing these episodes. So great question. Again, by my mama. Thanks for submitting this question.
What'd you call her?
My mama.
I used to call her Bama Mama.
Bama Mama. That's her username. Bama Mama. By my mama. Thank you for submitting this. So we appreciate you, Mom.
What are you saying?
By my mama.
By my mama.
By my mama.
I still didn't catch it.
By my mama.
Yes, good suggestion, Mama.
Lastly, on this podcast, we like to tell everybody that we have a podcast. Sorry, we have a video company that helps out churches in KC. Churches and nonprofits in KC and around the nation called
Moodwave Media.
And you can contact us to get us out there to help you with any media or audio needs you have at
moodwavemedia@gmail.com or on Instagram at moodwavemedia.
That's right. Christina has an Instagram. It's called
See Joyfully.
I have an Instagram. It's called Caleb C Media, where I do photography, video, audio. I have music on all platforms under Caleb Castaneda. If you want any of that done, just hit me up through Instagram. And lastly, if you want to get connected with us to submit questions or topics, we have a couple topics coming up from listeners like you who have submitted them. Just email us at
stuffthatwelikepodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. You're killing it, girl.
Thank you. Or on Instagram, Stuff That We Like Podcast. But yeah, we have like 5 more episodes we're going to do of Legendary Legends or whatever.
Yeah.
What's our segment called?
Legends
of...
Legends Lowdown. Legend Lowdown.
So if you have a specific legend that you want us to cover, we did Loch Ness Monster last week at a request. So yeah.
Just let us know.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Well, this has been Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least at this point in time. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.